Earlier, I spoke about Pollard's case and future prospects with Nitzana Darshan-Leitner, his attorney in Israel and president of the Shurat Hadin Israeli Law Center. Here's what she had to say. Nitzana Darshan-Leitner, thank you for joining us. Now, some might say this decision on Jonathan Pollard was long overdue, but we do know that for years there have been powerful elements in Washington, in the intelligence community, in the Defense Department, that have opposed in the Justice Department that have opposed freeing him of all restrictions. Why do you think this decision came down now?
Well, it's about time. Indeed, it's a long, very long due decision, but after Jonathan was released from jail, he got 5 years under restricted conditions. This term came to an end this Friday, November 21st. So the Justice Ministry and the people in the Pentagon and the State Department, whoever was involved with this case, decided probably that enough is enough. He served 30 years in jail. He served 5 years almost like in jail with very, very restricted conditions. And there is no reason probably to keep him anymore under these conditions. You have to remember that there are two terms that can allow someone to get off restricted conditions. One, if he had a good behavior, and Jonathan Pollard's behavior was perfect. And the other one, he doesn't serve any national security anymore to the United States. And here, probably he does not. He fulfilled his sentence. He's free now to go.
Free now to go. Now, Israel did award him citizenship already in 1995, and he has expressed his desire to come to Israel, but there are reports his wife, Esther, is receiving medical treatment in the U.S. Realistically, when can we expect Jonathan Pollard to arrive in Israel?
So you're right. Esther she's going through treatment. She would need to arrange something alternative in Israel. So this will take a little bit of while. As soon as they arrange these conditions, they will be free to come to Israel. I assume it could be a matter of weeks.
Now, Jonathan Pollard remains a controversial figure, certainly for many Americans. There's been a lot of discussion about what kind of reception he should receive here. Let me be beyond just the legal issues. What do you think? I mean, if he is given a hero's welcome, could that, for example, potentially cause friction with the United States?
Listen, it only depends on what he does. Jonathan cannot control the reaction of the world, of the American community, or the Israeli people. Indeed, people in Israel perceive him as a hero. Indeed, they identify with what he does, and they thank him for this and feel very grateful. He cannot diminish this. So whatever Israel is doing, the people in Israel is doing, should not affect anything of Jonathan conditions. Whatever the government in Israel is doing, I'm sure, is organized and collaborated with the American government, and there will be no violation or no any act that, God forbid, will bring restrictions over Pollard. I can assure you that Pollard, the same way he kept strictly the conditions that he was under in the past 5 years, he will not create any violation or anything that will intrigue the American authorities to come back and overview his issue.
Right. Now, Nitzana, you represent Jonathan Pollard in Israel. So I have to ask you, even to this day, there are questions about how the Israeli government handled his case, handled the circumstances under which he was arrested, the aftermath, compensation. Is it possible these issues may come up? There might be legal action in Israel involving Jonathan?
Look, there are a lot of issues that remain open. You indicated some. the matter of payments, whether he got compensated, whether the Israeli government should take care of him from now on, and Jonathan Pollard should not rely anymore on donations and the goodwill of good people. The matter of really what the government of Israel did in order to secure his freedom, whether they abandoned him in the beginning of the way, whether they abandoned him throughout the road. There are a lot of questions, but today we are celebrating his release. These questions probably will come up in the future. They will be sorted out this way or another. But this is a happy day. This is a happy day. This is a happy month, the month of Hanukkah, of Calev. Jonathan would like to concentrate on this upcoming release and his dream that he finally can fulfill to come and live in Israel.
Let me ask you, of course, Jonathan Pollard has had some serious health issues, but he seems to be in relatively good health. He is, God willing, many years ahead of him. How does Jonathan see his life in Israel? Does he see himself going into public life at all? What are his plans?
Well, Calev, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be a public figure. He already is. I don't know if he's going to take a public position, but he's very excited to come and live in Israel. He has a lot of plans. We should remember, or we should get to know him. He's a smart person. He's brilliant. He's very intelligent, very well-spoken. He was an army analyst in his position in the U.S. Army. So he's a bright person, and he has a lot in front of him. He's planning a big, big future for him and his wife, Esther, in Israel.
Okay, I believe he was a naval analyst for the in the Navy service.
Yes.
Nitzana Darshan-Leitner, attorney representing Jonathan Pollard in Israel and also president of the Shurat Hadin Israeli Law Center. Thank you for joining us on The Rundown.
My pleasure.